Okay, and then once we film that, then we're gonna bring him in, and we're gonna introduce him as a.
I know who he is.
Yeah.
I know. I've known this boy his whole life. It's Harold Jr. It's Harold's boy, his only son.
Idiot! This is my son, James, your nephew. You've known him a long time. You've seen him many times.
Well, so it is. Oh, I'm sorry about that, boy. How you doing? Here, find out what he knows.
Do you like fun and adventure? Then sit back and enjoy the Brothers Not Lovers as they discuss all things movies. What's overrated or underrated? What makes you go really? Or how dare you? Or even just simply how funny this movie can be. You have the insightful, intuitive Davey, who is awesome. And you have the film bestie, Josh. He's there.
Hi, I'm Davey. I'm awesome. This is Josh.
The film bestie.
And this is the Brothers Not Lovers movie review, where we're going to be reviewing a movie that we have loved since our childhood. Didn't do very well, but it's okay.
Those capitalist pigs will pay for their crimes, eh, comrade?
Bestie, we won.
Oh. Oh, yay, capitalism. What is Putin doing?
This movie came out in 1990, and it was directed and co-written by Stuart Gordon, and also written by Joe Haldeman, and produced by Charles Band and his brother Albert Band. Made by Empire Pictures as well as Epic Pictures, and distributed by Triumph Releasing Company and MGM. Ladies and gentlemen, Robot Jox! This movie opens with a voice telling us that after a nuclear holocaust that almost completely wiped out mankind, that they decided to make war illegal.
War was legal?
I guess. There's also only two countries left. One is basically the United States. The other is, at the time, was the USSR. And now, when they have territorial disputes, they settle it with one-on-one fights between men piloting robots.
Robots piloted by jocks. Robot Jox. Oh, that's why they call it that. Cool.
There's currently a fight going on in the two countries over Siberia.
Alexander! You win!
Quitter! Your mama taught you that. You suck. Now we don't even get Siberia.
Do we really want Siberia?
Well, it's got rich history, you know. Rasputin came from there. Alan Rickman played Rasputin, who came from there. And I don't know.
They get a lot of snow.
I like to pee in the snow.
Even though this fighter surrendered, you're gonna root for Alexander this whole movie, aren't you?
Dude, I always root for the hero. You know that.
When we used to watch Home Alone, you would root for Harry and Marv.
Dude, how can you not? Didn't you see the abuse they suffered at the hands of that sick psychopath?
When we watched Fern Gully, you rooted for that big grease monster.
It was Tim Curry.
When we watched Rocky Horror Picture Show, well, I rooted for Frankenfurter too.
Yeah. What a sweet ass.
Back at the U.S. base, they realized that Alexander knew how to counter a bunch of their new weapons way too easily.
Clearly a matter of espionage.
Or he's just the most awesome freaking dude alive.
No, it was espionage. Listen to Sato. Alexander has killed 9 of the U.S. soldiers.
He is chosen. See what I did there?
And now it is up to their best fighter, Achilles, to fight Alexander and keep Alaska.
They want it back?
Apparently.
Why do the villains always try to stop the heroes so soon in the movie?
What are you talking about? The heroes are trying to keep Alaska. The villains try to take it. We're not doing this! It's the villain. You want to root for the villain? Root for the villain. But it's the villain. Villain!
I'm not gonna root for Achilles, okay?
Achilles is not...
God.
Now it's just me.
That is our lead. The lead, Achilles. Played by the late Gary Graham. Rest in peace.
What was he late for?
He died.
Oh my God, how? And when?
Earlier this year, I'm not exactly sure how he died.
Oh.
Then we see Achilles training, and we also see how 80s this movie really is, as everybody is wearing spandex. Lots and lots of spandex. There is one trainee there, a woman, that Achilles and his coach, Tex, don't believe that is ever going to be a real jock.
Some of them aren't too hard to look at, though.
But apparently she wasn't somebody to get along with either, at least not in Gary Graham's case. That is Athena, played by Anne-Marie Johnson. And Gary Graham and her did not get along at all.
That's why she needs to join the good guys. Switch teams, girl.
But the biggest reason that both Achilles and Tex don't like these trainees is because they are what they call tubies.
Human beings, genetically engineered to be the best fighters in history.
Wait a minute. I can make my own Anne-Marie Johnson. I can also make my own Elizabeth Berkley. My own Linnea Quickly. I gotta get out of here.
You can't really do that. Sit down.
Sorry, dude. Sorry. Just get excited.
They say their need to make people is so that they don't run out of people, and so that they have the best fighters. And the woman talking to them, Professor Laplace, she has a request.
I'd appreciate it if you could provide us with raw material.
She needs a sample of his swimmers, his special men.
Oh, his rapid whitewater.
Sure, dude.
His slinging yogurt.
Yeah, that, you got it. That's good. That's good.
His baby gravy.
3 is enough! But Achilles says he wants to make one the old-fashioned way. She doesn't want to. Later, while they are training the trainees, tubies, whatever you want to call them, Athena goes to Tex and asks about his last fight, and how he, at the right moment, shot a laser at the exact right spot on his opponent's butt, and asks how he knew.
Luck. It was a lucky shot, little lady.
Luck. Luck is for a fizzle.
Phil Brooks couldn't have said it better himself.
That's right.
As Achilles is getting ready to fight Alexander, one of his crew wishes him luck.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
That's their greeting.
Crash and burn.
See? Even Achilles' brother and his family calls.
Dude, have you been not paying attention? It's burn and crash.
Crash and burn.
Tango and cash.
Tex isn't happy either. It's bad luck to wish good luck. The way these work is the robots move along with the movement of the jocks. They also have weapons in their hand controls.
Dude, does not strike you as oddly similar to Pacific Rim?
A lot of the fans of this movie do very strongly believe that the creator of Pacific Rim must have been a fan of this movie. He, however, has never confirmed or denied that. But it's kind of obvious.
Oh, yeah.
Against Alexander, Achilles tries out their new secret weapon, some green lasers, that Alexander is able to very easily avoid and counter.
That's right. That's right. He reeks of awesomeness. He's so cool.
Actually, it's because their secret was leaked.
Check it out. Somebody's a sore loser.
Get that off your head.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
But now they're at the point where the referee has said no more long-range weapons.
Now it's man to man.
Or robot to robot.
Roboto to roboto. Domo arigato.
But as they fight, Alexander shoots a fist at the bleachers with all the spectators, and Achilles dives in front of it, trying to protect the spectators, and accidentally falls onto them.
'Cause he got fisted.
Dude, many of those spectators were killed and injured.
Hey, They wanted front row seats. They got what they paid for.
A total dead number over 300.
And that's why it's better to watch on pay-per-view. They have a hearing where the U.S. says that the USSR, now called the Confederacy, violated the rules of the ref by shooting a long-range weapon, and therefore they should have to forfeit. The referees, however, decide it is a no contest, and they will have to have a rematch in 1 week. But Achilles says he won't fight.
I did my contract. 10 fights. That's it.
Coward.
You wouldn't be just a little bit reluctant if you accidentally killed 300 people?
Dude, can you imagine? I'd have the bloodlust going through me. I couldn't be able to stop after that. I need more virgin blood to bathe in.
Well, Athena disagrees with you.
He's not a coward.
AC Slater?
The commissioner tries to convince Achilles to keep fighting. Says that he has to, it says so in his contract, but Achilles knows what it says in his contract.
I can't read, but I'm not dumb.
If you can't read, then what the hell? How do you know what it says?
You know, they never explain that, but I'm guessing somebody must have read it to him.
Oh, you mean the magical leprechaun from Harry Potter? Huh?
You know, other people in this world can read.
Sure.
Since that didn't work, the commissioner offers him more money.
What I want is out.
I'll tell you what I want. I want a beer.
It's right there.
Score! Ah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's a man's drink right there. Oh, now it's his turn to tell us what he wants, what he really, really wants.
I'll tell you what I want, what I want.
I don't give a rat's ass what you want, what you really, really want.
Stop right now. Thank you very much. Then we go to a futuristic party where everybody is wearing jumpsuits and coveralls. Because apparently that's how they thought we were going to dress in the future.
That shows they know.
Yeah, women nowadays, they dress in low-cut shirts and short shorts, and the men dress in their girlfriend's pants.
Hey, why isn't WAP playing on there? You'd think they would have some Taylor Swift in there.
Why did I let you in here? I knew you were trouble when you walked in. While Achilles is drinking, Alexander comes in to pick on him over the 300 deaths.
Oh, finally, the protagonist gets some camera time. Who made this movie?
Villain. He's the villain. Not the protagonist. Not the lead. Not the hero. He's the villain. For God's sakes, Josh, he's Russian!
I just can't even.
He's Russian in a 90s movie. They were never the heroes. Ever.
Are you hearing this, Putin?
Good.
Gonna be one more, you don't keep that mouth shut.
You had your chance. Wuss. Coward. Fizzle.
One of the newer soldiers challenges Alexander.
I do not fight Tubies.
Oh, come on. What's wrong with Tubi? All that free programming. You know, they got the entire run of Vice Squad. Lots of good movies from the 80s.
And they have this movie.
This is a movie?
But as far as what he's saying, Tubies are just what they call these genetically engineered soldiers.
Oh. Yeah, screw him. He looks like he belongs on Saved by the Bell anyway.
But the Tubi gets a little overzealous.
You touched me!
Show him who's boss, Alexander. Don't let trash like that put its hands on you.
But Achilles comes to the rescue and challenges Alexander right then and there. But Alexander won't.
I don't fight for fun.
Hell yeah, he's just having fun while he's doing it.
Saturday, Achilles, or not at all.
That's right, Alex. Eyes on the prize. Eyes on the prize.
What the hell is wrong with you?
What? He's like the greatest hero of all. Remember Ivan Drago?
Did you like Clubber Lang in the third one?
That poor, poor man.
You're like the person who rooted for Hannibal Lecter in Hannibal.
Yeah. Because he's a good-looking guy. He's nice and he's very well-cultured.
The first Silence of the Lambs, he was just mad at her for hurting the dog.
No, I was mad at her for not putting the lotion in the basket. Forget the dog.
Achilles passes out and wakes up with Athena in his room. She explains that she carried him home, undressed him, and put him to bed.
That's exactly how I like my dates to go.
What are you, dating superwomen?
Fat jokes? Really? That's low.
I'm just saying. To pick you up, undress you, and put you into bed. What are you, dating China?
She died, dude. Otherwise I would.
Ah, so it was murder.
Sounds real romantic.
So hungover, he goes over and gets some coffee, but she says she doesn't drink coffee.
It affects one's heart.
Yeah. You know how it affects my heart? It makes me happy.
Very happy.
While talking, she says that she is superior to Achilles because she was born and bred for a purpose, whereas he just happened.
Yeah, that's what Daddy used to say.
Ours too! She starts going on about him quitting.
Typical woman.
But of course, he's saying again that 10 fights is 10 fights.
It isn't over until somebody wins.
At this point, he is done with her and tells her to leave.
There's nothing you can teach me except how to lose.
That girl needs to go and get herself a real man. Like me. Or Alexander. He's better than me. Want me to introduce you? Can I watch?
Alexander is on the wrong side.
Are you a Jedi?
But later, as Achilles is about to leave, he decides first to go give Athena a little good luck charm to wear around her neck as a way to apologize to her. But Athena doesn't know what to say.
It's a present. Just say thanks.
Don't skip it.
Josh, you know there's no way I can put that clip on YouTube. I can't.
Alright, here. Let me just watch it over here for a second. It's your tushy. It's bare.
And yet this was rated PG.
Really?
Because 80s. Now Achilles has to go back to his home in a society where everybody wears face masks all the time.
Oh my god, they did predict the future. They got COVID. Dude, you know what this means? We're next in line for giant robots. As we already have Tubi. It also means I'm going to get to see a naked tushy.
Achilles makes it home to his brother.
But it's just Uncle Jim again.
What a loser. His name is Jim. Who changes a name from Achilles to Jim?
I don't know. Who does that, Rachel? Achilles.
You mean Slim Jim?
Yes, Rachel. Comments on his sister-in-law being pregnant.
And besides, with 6 kids, you get 3 bedrooms.
So basically in this world, even though there are now only 2 countries, they are both basically communists. To further illustrate that point, she says they are having real meat tonight.
To celebrate.
Does this world still look appealing?
Oh, that hot dog looks pretty good.
5 of them have to share that hot dog.
No, just kill him and take the hot dog.
To decide the next opponent for Alexander, they're having all the tubies compete climbing a structure that is booby-trapped until one of them can get through an opening in the roof.
Looks like a really bizarre jungle gym.
It is a jungle gym.
Of death.
Oh, so this movie didn't just inspire Pacific Rim. It also inspired the Hunger Games.
And the Cube.
And Forrest Gump. This movie's so underrated.
Sargon, the Tubi that challenged Alexander earlier, takes a cheap shot at Athena and is about to make it to the roof. Never mind.
Bye-bye, Mario Lopez.
But just then... Athena makes it.
Yay. It's too bad, instead of getting with her, Alexander's going to have to kill her.
Of course, once this gets back to Achilles that Athena is going to be the one to challenge, he changes his mind. He goes back and tells the commissioner he will fight Alexander under the condition that there be no spectators allowed in the arena.
What about the money? He's not going to double it? Maybe take care of your poor brother? Let him have 2 hot dogs next time?
Do we have a deal?
Indeed we do.
So it's back on! But now there's another problem. Dr. Matsumoto has not only made a new weapon for Achilles' robot, but he refuses to divulge any information about it to anyone. Even the people he had install it don't know what it is and what it's capable of. Tex and Achilles, on the other hand, feel that that is dangerous to go in there and use a weapon that they don't know what it does.
You both will just have to trust me.
Hey, as long as you keep Chosen away, let him get distracted with Daniel's son.
At the bar, of course, Alexander is happy that Achilles is back.
You make my drink taste like blood.
Oh man, he's like a sexy vampire Dracula type. So cool!
Tex goes to confront Dr. Matsumoto about being left out of the weapons briefing. And it's at that point that Matsumoto plays a clip of the last fight that Tex had where he got that really lucky shot.
That kind of luck does not exist.
Turns out the Confederacy let Tex win because he is a spy and he would help them win bigger fights.
You got me.
But Dr. Matsumoto has one more trick.
Wait. I got all the time in the world.
Tex says he feels so guilty and ashamed of what he's done that he's going to kill himself.
Guilty for what? Siding with the heroes? Making sure that good prevails? Love conquers all? That we get to see more Tushy?
In the never-ending story, did you root for the nothing? PG! Tex reports that Matsumoto was the traitor and that he killed himself. Don't know who shoots themselves like that, but okay. Athena goes to see Achilles and has a present for him before the fight.
Is it more Tushy?
No, it's a sedative.
Sedative?
She wants to fight Alexander. Achilles does the best he can to fight her off, but the sedative is kicking in. But he is able to pin her down and tell her that she is the reason he came back in the first place.
I like it rough too. Yeah.
She gets in Achilles' gear and goes into the bot, nobody noticing that Achilles has suddenly gotten a lot smaller. Okay. But eventually, right before she gets in, somebody finally does notice. But she is able to fight him off, mostly because they put up very little fight.
Hey, they don't want to fight a girl, they don't want to fight a girl.
Alexander wants to fight her.
Because he believes in a koala bear.
What?
You know, the thing where men and women are the same? A koala bear.
Equality? And as far as believing in equality, I hate to break it to you, but that's not what Russians are known for.
Dude, you and your xenophobia.
I'm not afraid of Xena, I just hate that show. They try to stop her, but she is too smart and determined. She wants to fight Alexander.
Aw, did he forget her birthday?
Who knows why she wants to fight him so bad? Maybe she was angry and he asked if she was on her period.
Maybe he took the covers off at night.
Maybe he ate her chocolate.
Maybe he accused her of cooking like her mom.
Maybe he was quoting Spice Girls songs and that really angers her for some reason. The commissioner appeals to the referees to make them stop the fight.
Identity of the fighters is not our responsibility.
They say no. Since they can't stop her, they give her this.
New weapons briefing.
But after her little weapons briefing,
I got all the time in the world.
everyone in the control room can see this as well.
I'll see you in hell.
And Tex runs out! Well, now that's done. No more traitor.
What happened? Did Trader Joe shut down?
Now to fight Alexander, she uses the new weapon. A blinder. But this only actually enrages Alexander. It doesn't really do much to stop him.
Wait, think you were going to turn on the refrigerator light and beat him? Stream on, Buttercup.
That's kind of what he does.
Hey, it's 2024. Women want to be treated like men. That's how we treat them.
Yeah, he shouldn't be killing men either.
What else is he supposed to do? Kiss him, hug him, sing Kumbaya, and say Namaste?
You realize that he can win these matches without killing them. Like
Yeah, but then it's not as fun.
Achilles runs to his car, I guess you could call it that, and drives it out to the field just as Athena passes out. But Alexander stops as soon as he sees Achilles. Alexander is starting to crush both Achilles and Athena until the refs come and say that technically he has won.
You must leave the field or be held in contempt of process!
But instead, Alexander keeps up with his threats. However, Achilles is checking on Athena.
Oh, Anne Marie Johnson looks bad. Annie, are you okay?
Are you okay?
Are you okay, Annie?
Annie, are you okay?
Are you okay?
Are you okay, Annie?
I think she was struck by... She was hit by... a smooth criminal.
I'm gonna get in this thing, and I'm gonna kick your ass!
And you know what? Alexander's gonna drink your milkshake. Let me explain. We take this straw, we put it in the milkshake, and then Alexander comes up and he drinks your milkshake.
I drink your milkshake.
He drinks it up. He sides with him this time. I knew it.
No, I just wanted to drink your milkshake.
Damn you.
As he's unstrapping Athena, she does apologize. Yeah, I don't think I care how hot she is. She's bloody.
Hey, don't knock it. She kisses him like that, she'll definitely let him stir the paint.
The refs warn Alexander that if he doesn't stop right now, he is going to lose by forfeit. Well, he lost.
He will win the moral war.
Yeah, I think that went bye-bye a long time ago. Achilles gets in and takes flight to outer space. This scene has been incredibly criticized because of the lack of sound effects, but the fact of the matter is, this movie is one of the very few movies to actually get this right. That explosion in space would not make a single sound.
Oh, sure. Tell that to the Death Star.
But the damage to the engine that was located in the foot does cause Achilles to have to go back down to Earth.
So, what was the point of all that?
Nothing. So now Achilles can only roll the machine.
Oh, his nards.
Robots don't have nards.
They do.
They don't. But then Alexander flips Achilles over and pulls out this. He has a crotch saw.
Big D energy. I'm feeling it.
Achilles gets out of his robot, runs over to an arm of Alexander's that had gotten cut off during the fight, and starts trying to hotwire it. And as he's trying to hotwire it, we see the part of the movie that the Film Bestie and I have impersonated over and 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 over again since we were kids and saw this.
You're a dead man, Achilles! Dead!
His voice kind of went a little weird there.
Yeah.
But he's still the hero.
No. Finally, Achilles gets the hotwire.
Boo!
But Alexander did make it out. Alexander is not giving up. He says this is not going to end until one of them die.
Whoa!
But Achilles, fighting him off, says they can live.
We can both live!
Tell him again.
We can live.
So what are you going to do, Alexander?
He's gonna do what any good hero would do. Chop his head off, find his family, and finish it.
No.
Jeez, whatever.
So there you have it. That's, I guess you could say, a classic. Robot Jox. I mentioned this movie came out in 1990, but it was actually finished almost 2 years before it. It originally had a budget of $6.5 million. Then, during production, the company that was making it, Empire Pictures, went bankrupt. About 2 years later, Epic Pictures bought it, finished it, which jumped its budget up to $10 million. But it only did 1.3 in the box office, so it's fair to say that it tanked. But to be fair, it was not played in that many theaters. It was not advertised really at all. Most of its success came from video rentals. When it came out in 1990, I wouldn't say it was like one of the most popular video rentals, but it was pretty popular. That's how we saw it.
And we loved it.
We did. Well, for us, it was like giant robots fighting each other, which was pretty original back then, especially for a live-action movie. Like back then, you only saw that in Transformers, which was one of the things this movie was trying to capitalize on. When Stuart Gordon originally wanted to do this movie, he wanted to capitalize on the popularity of Transformers. But by the time it came out in 1990, Transformers was kind of on its way down, popularity-wise. Gotta remember, it wasn't until the mid-2000s that it finally jumped back up with the Michael Bay movies. Another thing, though, was they were also kind of banking on the United States versus Russia thing going on, which when they started this project, they started writing it in 86. It finally got done filming in 89, and it was late 1990 that it finally got released. By that point, the whole Russia versus United States thing was a bit played out.
It was so passé.
Basically, if they could have gotten this movie released when they wanted it to, it would have been fine. It would have been up to date. It would have been current. But by the time it came out, it was a little,
Yeah, it came out the same year of Parker Lewis.
Right.
They just didn't care anymore.
Right, even he couldn't explain this. I will say, though, to originally make the movie for $6.5 million, the other $3.5 million came later. This is pretty impressive that in that time, late 80s, they were able to do all this with such a low budget. Because nowadays, they could do this, but it would be one of those $90 million, $100 million budget movies. Like Pacific Rim. When it first came out, there weren't many reviews, mainly because, again, it didn't have a lot of buzz, it didn't have a lot of promotion. But the few reviews it got were pretty poor. As time has gone on, it has developed more of a cult following, and the reviews have actually gotten better. So basically, I guess you could say where some things were a little behind the times, overall it was a little ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was way ahead of Transformers and Forrest Gump.
See, if they could have done Transformers a little bit more like this, instead of Michael Bay overdoing it like he always does, I honestly probably would have liked Transformers a lot better.
Yeah, we just need good stuff. Robots beating robots without too much CGI.
Another problem is that Joe Haldeman and Stuart Gordon, who wrote this movie, they clashed a lot on this project. Joe Haldeman wanted this to be a movie that was for adults but could be enjoyed by children, whereas Stuart Gordon wanted it to be a children's movie that could be enjoyed by adults. So it does kind of get a little mixed up in there, where it kind of has trouble finding its footing on, is this an adult movie or is it a kid's movie? I would say it's more an adult movie than a kid's movie, but still, it gets a little childish in there, here and there. It is a little bit all over the place. Joe Haldeman ultimately said he was not happy with this movie when it was finished. He wasn't even happy with the name. He wanted to call the movie The Mechanics, whereas Stuart Gordon insisted it be called Robot Jox. Kind of have to side with Gordon there. I think Robot Jox sounds a lot better than The Mechanics.
Yeah, big time.
The Mechanics, I would have been like, okay, so this is a movie out there with fixing cars?
You know what they should have called this movie? Magic Mike.
What?
Just saying.
No, dude, you're totally wrong. They should have called this movie Wonder Woman.
Spice World?
There was a sequel planned where Alexander and Achilles were going to team up, go into outer space with their robots, and fight aliens. Kind of like Pacific Rim a little bit.
Yeah.
And that might have been cool, but of course with this being such a flop, of course they were not going to get funding to do a sequel. Some interesting almost casting decisions though. Originally to play Athena, Vanessa Williams auditioned. But they decided to save the best for last and give it to Anne-Marie Johnson. I honestly would have been fine with either one, I guess. Funny enough, though, Gary Graham almost didn't get the part of Achilles. They almost gave that part to Jean-Claude Van Damme. That would have been awesome. As much as I like how Gary Graham did this, that would have been great. Alexander, we're going to get in this machine, and gotta you die! They could have gotten Dolph Lundgren to play Alexander.
Or Raul Julia.
Well, put Raul Julia in any movie, that would have been great. But I'm thinking more of Dolph Lundgren. He's sitting there. I must break you, Achilles. Break.
Oh, you know what would have been great for Achilles back then? Ferris Bueller.
I don't know if I could see that. Either way, though, as far as Robot Jox goes, it was a fun movie. Like I said, it was a little ahead of its time, the giant robots and stuff. That was something that we'd only seen in cartoons. I think that's what appealed to Josh and I, was when we were kids, we were like, wow, a live-action movie with big, huge robots. And I think, honestly, what I like more about this versus movies like the Transformers movies that came out or Pacific Rim, this one had more story to it than just the giant robots. It felt like those movies, that's all they had to offer were cool effects and big, huge robots. That's not enough to get my attention. That's enough to make me go, oh, this is cool. Now what about the story? This one focused more on the story. And that's what made it good, in my opinion. So, if you have not seen the cult classic, Robot Jox, then yes, very highly recommend that you go on something like Tubi and check out Robot Jox. There you have it. That's our movie review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications when we post videos, and leave a comment. If you've seen Robot Jox, tell us what you thought of Robot Jox. If you want to say that you'd still rather watch a bunch of CGI like Pacific Rim or Transformers, you can tell us that too. We'll judge you, but go ahead. Love you guys.